I'm Susan Cobey, C-O-B-E-Y.
So, Sue, tell us who you are and where we are.
This is Whidbey Island, where I live, and what you're looking at is some of the stock imports we've done with, I'm doing a project with Steve Shepard. We're trying to diversify the U.S. Honeybee gene pool, because there was an importation ban in 1922, and that stock that was initially imported has been expanded to establish the U.S. bee industry. So I think that if we have more genetic diversity within our stock, we'll be have better tools to do selection and breeding towards mite resistance and just general more vigor. So
has the import ban been lifted, or
no? We're bringing in germplasm. We're bringing in semen only. It's a little bit safer. You can eliminate a lot of the pests and diseases doing that, and it's quite a process to get it through USDA APHIS. We have a quarantine yard where the semen is tested for viruses, and then we establish the queens and those resulting colonies. We look at progeny. We test the progeny for pests and diseases. So we want to make sure we're not bringing in something that we don't already have.
So I guess I didn't realize that was why the ban was in place.
It was initially put in for tracheomites, which were, it actually was fairly effective. Tracheomites were introduced about 1984, and I think it was 89 when we got varroamite. So the varroamite is the real big beast. It vectors a lot of pests and pathogens, and it jumps species. So I compare it to kind of like getting AIDS. If you don't treat it, you're going to die within 2 years if you're a colony.
I don't think. I definitely want to get you to talk about colony collapse disorder, varroamite, and I wonder if you have just a little neat soundbite that maybe you would give lay persons who don't maybe understand
it. Okay. Well, this the phenomenon we call colony collapse sorry. I'll start over. What we're calling the phenomenon we call colony collapse disorder is really a complex situation. It's pests and parasites of the bees. It's poor nutrition. Let me start over again. Sorry.
It's okay, and I can splice stuff like that out. I cut stuff like that all the time. No worries.
Yeah. How about that bird?
Yeah.
Colony collapse disorder it's a complex issue. We want, as a scientist, you want to find one key factor that you can identify and deal with. But this is a very complex, dynamic type of a problem. It's got to do with pesticides in the environment, not only miticides we're using to treat in the colony, but agriculture chemicals. It's poor nutrition because we're losing a lot of the natural forage of bees, and you have these huge monocultures which don't provide adequate nutrition for bees. And these varroamite and a lot of the different parasites and pests will vector other pathogens and diseases. So you get this combination. Any one of these individually you can kind of deal with, but when you put them all together and they all interact, causing this complex thing that we're calling colony collapse disorder, and it's a global situation. I think it's a statement on how we're taking care of the environment as well. It's not just honeybees, it goes for bumblebees. All kind of natural pollinators are affected by this as well.
So just real briefly, can you explain to us what a varroamite is and what its relationship with bees?
Varroamite is it's a parasite which feeds on the developing brood. The bees will cap the brood in the cell, and the varroamite will go in there before it's capped and feed on the bees. It also will introduce pathogens, viruses, bacteria, things like this. And it's fairly large. It's like having a large dinner plate on your belly. And they reproduce in the cells, and you'll get things like deformed wing virus where the wings don't develop, so the bees can't fly. or you'll get really tiny looking bees because the nutrition has just been taken away from them. So it's a big problem, a very big problem. And this jump species, it's a natural parasite of Apis cerana, which is an Asian bee, and they have natural mechanisms of resistance. So it's a minor pest, but you take that parasite and put it on our European bees, and they don't have the mechanisms to deal with it as well. So it's pretty devastating for them.
Okay.
This project is working with Steve Shepard. One of our goals is to develop a sperm bank repository, and I think that's not just for the U.S., but it has potential worldwide. You have a lot of ecotypes of bees, different subspecies, these little pockets of native bees that are under a lot of duress, just with the pathogen loads, the worldwide movement of bees. And if we can preserve those, now that we have the technologies with liquid nitrogen, Brandon Hopkins, one of Steve's grad students, has been really working with this, developing this. So in the future, I want to be able to just pull out a tube of semen from the liquid nitrogen tank and give you a custom order of whatever you want in a bee. Do you want different races, different traits, different whatever it is, that combination I think we can do in the future. So to me, that's really exciting. That's really the direction I'd like to see it go.